This page was created to teach Black history. Unfortunately, the American educational system was designed to exclude our real historical account, so we are here to dismantle it. It's time to enlighten those of us who have been kept in the dark. I too was a Black man who didn't know enough about our own history, so I began to dig deeper and do my own research. I want people of all races and cultures to join together to learn our history as one. Here, I will share all of my findings. Please share and support Teaching Black History.
The story of Absalom Jones. Absalom Jones was born into slavery in Suffolk County, Delaware in 1746. When he was 16, his owner sold him along with his mother and siblings to a neighboring farmer. That year, the farmer kept Absalom, but sold his mother and siblings and moved to Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, where he became a merchant. Absalom was allowed to attend a school and learn to read and write while he was enslaved. Pennsylvania abolished slavery and became a free state in the new United States. Jones became a lay minister of the interracial congregation of St. George Methodist Episcopal Church in Philadelphia. The Methodist Church admitted persons of all races and allowed African Americans to preach. Together with Richard Allen, Jones was one of the first African Americans licensed to preach by the Methodist Episcopal Church. But members of the church still practice racial discrimination. The first Black church in Philadelphia opens its doors on July 17, 1794. Jones was ordained as a deacon in 1795 and as a priest in 1802, became the first African American priest in the Episcopal Church. Jones helped establish the tradition of anti-slavery sermons on New Year's Day. His sermon for January 1st, 1808, the date on which the U.S. Constitution mandated the end of African slave trade, was called A Thanksgiving Sermon and published in a pamphlet form. It became famous. Rumors persisted that Jones had supernatural abilities to influence the minds of assembled congregations. White observers failed to recognize his oratory skills, perhaps because they believed rhetoric to be beyond the capabilities of Black people. After becoming the first Black and freed man to be ordained as a priest, and as the Constitution's deadline for abolition of the slave trade passed, Jones took part in the first group of African Americans to petition the U.S. Congress. Their petition related to the Fugitive Slave Act of 1793, which they criticized for encouraging cruelty and brutality, as well as supporting the continuing criminal practice of kidnapping free Blacks and selling them into slavery. Jones drafted a petition on behalf of 4 freed slaves and asked Congress to adopt some remedy for an evil of such magnitude. The petition was presented on January 30th, 1797. Jones used moral suasion, trying to convince whites that slavery was immoral, offensive to God, and contrary to the nation's ideal. The House of Representatives declined to accept the petition by a vote of 50 to 33. Jones died on February 13, 1818 in Philadelphia.